We're back with my in-studio guests, Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr., and of course the introduction and the passage of Bill 431-31, and was transmitted to, of course, it was passed 15-0, right?
That's yeah. Correct, yes.
And it was transmitted to the governor's office for signature. Tonight in the news, we heard that, I guess, they will be going with the MOU. I guess the the administration's legal counsel is reviewing the, I guess, the bill as passed for its legality and maybe constitutionality and all that, because we heard, of course, from a former senator about the meddling of the legislature into the administrative duties at this point, and you definitely disagreed with that stance that he took. And go ahead and you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, thank you. You know, and of course you mentioned what the former Senator Klitsky had said in the paper, and you know I have a high regard for the former senator, and this was no effort on trying to overstep our authority as a legislative body. This was simply us working collaboratively with the administration, with public health. And you know, they said they needed the statutory authority to do something to correct a problem that was created by this government, and so we gave them that authority. The final bill that was passed by the legislature is actually amendments and recommendations that came from the Deputy Attorney General, Phil Tadinko himself. And so, you know, throughout the whole day, all 15 senators we're working hard. We met with GSA, met with Public Health again. And so it was really a collaborative effort, and we feel that this is an option that was provided to the administration.
And actually, it's in section 2 of the bill, of page 2. It's only a two-page bill, basically. It's short and sweet. Normally, it's like 100 pages.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, where it says the governor is authorized to amend and extend the contract awarded pursuant to the invitation for bid as per General Services Agency, bid number GSA-031-10. Reference POs, and it's got the POs for both, and as amended and extended through February 29th, 2012, basically, for an additional period of 90 days from the date of enactment of this act, or until such a time as the new contract is awarded. So basically, this is, in essence, what you're saying then, and what this says is that it authorizes, it's not a directive.
That's right.
It's an authorization. They can extend it for 3 months. But let me ask you this, okay? Play the devil's advocate at this point. Let me take Senator Klitsky's point of view, because they always call us twins in the legislature. He was my twin brother. Senator Klitsky, if you're out there, you know that, right? Anyway, you know, where it says it authorizes the governor. Should the governor again sign this, or the acting governor sign this? Does this set up then a precedence down the line here, where all contracts coming up for, I guess, to their life, right, pretty much, and say the again the agency may somehow have failed to send it out on a bid, so the governor will come to you and say, well, you know, by statute this, but this is an emergency situation, but I can't, I mean, or not necessarily an emergency situation where a statute needs to be crafted by the legislature, and would not the governor now be accused of maybe wanting to extend a certain contract to a certain contractor? You know, because a bid would not go out. I mean, because a bid did not go out, and so wanting to keep that certain vendor going.
I think you're right, and I think that's the. I don't think the legislature by this legislation is creating that precedent. I think the precedent is being created here by the administration, by public health, saying, you know, they have the unilateral authority to say that if a service provider is providing a specific service today, that because you know for some reason next month, you know, their budget is reduced, or they feel that provider is not going to be the provider anymore, then they can go into another government agency without going through the procurement process. You know, and so all we're saying is that the procurement process be followed and encouraged. You know, I think that's the best way to have a level playing field. You know, and then just going back also to the emergency situation. I know that the other aspect of the former senator's contention here is that this was not an emergency, and I think when you look at the circumstances here, is that there's a potential crisis from happening. You know, now that you have a nonprofit organization that is operating the centers, they haven't been paid for over 4 months. They've only been paid once this fiscal year. And so, but they were able to maintain the operations, continue paying their personnel, maintaining the centers being open, because they're a nonprofit. They have resources to continue to float their finances. You know, and just like any other nonprofit, they don't have deep pockets, but they have the resources. Now, with this going into a government entity, you know, the government is having financial problems throughout, you know, our government. And so that's where the potential problem arises, is that what happens, you know, 2 weeks from March 1st when people need to get paid, you know, how is this government gonna, you know, how is government going to operate, you know, in operating the senior centers?
Basically, one troubled government agency to another potentially troubled government agency based on finances, right?
Yes, that's right.
Can you take a caller?
Sure.
Okay, let's go to Joe from Jigo. Joe, buenas.
Good evening, senators.
Go ahead. Hey, Joe, how you doing?
I'm pretty fair. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
Good evening.
Now, all right, Senator Rodriguez, how are you today, sir?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead. You may want to turn your TV down a little bit because I can hear ourselves echoing in the background.
All righty. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there any money saved by having the Mayor's Council operate the Senior Citizen Center?
Is there any money, any cost savings in the operations of the center by the mayors?
No, I don't think so. The amount that they were promised to receive from public health, which is $60,000 a month, is the same amount that they would have, that GARP-SPIMA would have accepted to continue to run the senior centers. And so, you know, and the thought is when you have government doing things, sometimes it costs more. You know, because right now the existing employees of the centers that are GARP employees are not government employees. Now that the mayors are going to take over, they become government employees. So you got to provide them the benefits that every other government of Guam employee receives. You got to drug test them, as that is a requirement. And so these are added expenses that, you know, yes.
Okay. Great. Anyway, thank you, Joe, for your question tonight. We're going to take a quick break and then come back again. Let's take your calls again, 632-8255 or 632-TALK. We'll be right back.